Lance Armstrong's name was once synonymous with cycling greatness and cancer survivorship. His 7 consecutive Tour de France championships from 1999 to 2005 were stuff of legend. But in 2012, that legend came crashing down in spectacular fashion.
Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
One of America's most revered athletes, a cancer survivor and crusader, Armstrong will now be banned from cycling for life and stripped of his Tour de France titles.
After years of denial and infamous claims of never testing positive for doping, Armstrong admitted to doping throughout his career in a televised interview with Oprah Winfrey in January of 2013. The fallout was swift and severe. But what happened to Lance Armstrong after the dust settled? This is the story of Lance Armstrong's journey after his second retirement from professional cycling. Armstrong's downfall began in 2010 when former teammate Floyd Landis accused him of doping. This led to Tyler Hamilton and other former teammates of Lance Armstrong coming forward with their own accords of Armstrong's and their own doping.
Did you see Lance Armstrong using other performance-enhancing drugs?
At times, yeah, at different training camps.
Subsequently, a federal investigation and a probe by the United States Anti-Doping Agency followed suit. In August 2012, Armstrong announced he would no longer be fighting the doping charges after sending several provocative tweets, including the most famous one of him on his couch beneath the 7 yellow jerseys, leading USADA to strip him of all his Tour de France titles and ban him from competitive cycling for life. There comes a point in every man's life when he has to say enough is enough, and for me, that time is now. The admission to Oprah Winfrey in 2013 was the final nail in the coffin for Armstrong's cycling legacy. Piers Morgan said this after the interview: "What a sniveling, lying, cheating little wrench that Lance Armstrong revealed himself to be tonight. I hope he now just disappears. Hashtag live wrong." Today's video is brought to you by our good friends over at Sirocco. I've been using Sirocco sunglasses for over 7 years and I can highly recommend them. In front of me, I've got some of their latest kit, such as the K4 sunglasses that are polarized and are great for when you're on the bike. I've also got the M3 Chrono shirt and the Squadra bibs that are currently on offer if you head over to their website. So if you'd like to upgrade your wardrobe, use our special code TSL at checkout to save more on your bibs, your shirts, your glasses, whatever else it might be. Head over to Sirocco right now, use the link down below and use our code TSL to save even more. Now back to the video. The aftermath of Armstrong's admission was a tsunami of legal troubles. The most significant was a federal whistleblower lawsuit filed by former teammate Floyd Landis and joined by the US government.
New trouble for Lance Armstrong, the disgraced cycling champion, now set to face a jury over a $100 million lawsuit from the government.
The suit alleged that Armstrong had defrauded the government by accepting sponsorship money from the US Postal Service while doping. In April of 2018, Armstrong settled the case for $5 million, a fraction of the potential $100 million liability.
There was a mile-long list of lawsuits. Income went from, some exorbitant amount to zero. You can't go through all of these things without suffering PTSD.
But this wasn't the only battle that Armstrong faced. He also had to settle with SCA Promotions, a Texas company that had paid him $12 million in bonuses for winning the Tour de France. The legal battles took a toll not just financially but emotionally as well. Lance Armstrong said he had intensive therapy, all alone, one-on-one, 10 hours a day due to this. The financial consequences of Armstrong's fall from grace were staggering. Within days of the USADA's decision, Armstrong lost all his major sponsorships, including Nike, Trek, and Anheuser-Busch. The Livestrong Foundation, which Armstrong had founded to support cancer survivors, also severed ties with him. Armstrong had to step down as chairman and later from the board entirely.
The deepest cut was Livestrong saying, "You need to step away."
How much that hurt?
Oh yeah, it doesn't get worse than that.
To cover his mounting legal fees, Armstrong was forced to sell his properties and assets, including his ranch in Texas and his stake in his private jet. At the height of his career, Armstrong's net worth was estimated to be at $125 million, and the doping scandal likely cost him over $100 million lost in endorsements and legal fees alone. Despite the setbacks, Armstrong began to rebuild his life and seek redemption in various ways. In 2016, he launched the Forward podcast, podcast.
Hey everybody, Lance Armstrong here. Excited to announce, a lot of people have podcasts these days. Felt like jumping in the game. I come across a lot of interesting people in my life that I find interesting at least. So I figured I'd start this little podcast called The Forward Podcast,
where he interviews a wide variety of celebrities such as Matthew McConaughey, Mia Khalifa, Charles Barkley, and many more about overcoming adversity. Armstrong also founded WeDo alongside long-term friends Johan Brunel and George Hincapie, a company that produces podcasts and organizes training camps across the world. He saw this as a way to reconnect with the endurance sports community. One of WeDo's most controversial offerings is their Mallorca training camp, which can cost up to $30,000 per person. Cycling News said this about the training camp. The pair are set to host a 6-night, 5-day holiday for 12 guests in late September. Guests will pay $30,000 for 5 days of riding with the pair and Pinarello bikes, with kit, accommodation and meals included in the lofty price tag. However, Armstrong's involvement in cycling events remains limited due to his lifetime ban. This ban extends even to his presence at major races like the Tour de France, where he's not allowed to be on location as part of the WeDo podcast coverage. Feedback on the podcast is mixed. While some love the expert level insights, others are still upset with the many years of deceit of Lance Armstrong. He has a shockingly popular podcast. Like it or not, the guy is involved in pro cycling commentary. Some feel like he got the raw deal as everyone else was doping in that era, and he's the only one who got the death penalty. Personally, I don't care and just don't listen to him. His podcast is good. People want to dislike him, me included, but I'm surprised how wired he is in the cycling community still. Heck, Calf called into the show the first day of the tour this year, and his family called on the day of his win, mostly because of Hincapie. But Lance is definitely in the know, whether you like it or not. But perhaps Armstrong's most successful post-cycling venture came from an unexpected source, an early investment into Uber. In 2009, Armstrong invested $100,000 in a venture capital fund that made an early investment into Uber. By 2018, that investment was reportedly worth over $20 million.
So I invested in Chris Sacca. I didn't even know that he did Uber. I thought he was buying up a bunch of Twitter shares from employees or former employees.
How much is that? It's 100,000 worth today.
It's too good to be true.
10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million?
It's one of those. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's saved our family.
He got kinda lucky. Apparently he was looking at bankruptcy, then the investment firm he had a part of bought a shitload of Uber stock really early and cashed out when it peaked. Throughout the turmoil of his public fall from grace, Armstrong's personal life underwent significant changes as well. He remained committed to his 5 children and found support in his relationship with Anna Hansen, whom he married in 2022. Armstrong's passion for endurance sports never wavered. After his ban from cycling, he turned his attention to triathlons and Ironman competitions, showcasing his exceptional endurance abilities across multiple disciplines. Endurance sports have always been a part of who I am. Competing in triathlons allow me to challenge myself in new ways. Despite being barred from sanctioned events, Armstrong competed in unsanctioned races and posted impressive results. In 2012, before his lifetime ban, he won the Ironman 70.3 Florida and Ironman 70.3 Hawaii, largely thanks to his impressive bike split being over 20 minutes faster than the rider in 5th place. Again, Armstrong divides opinion as seen in the YouTube comments. There's 2 kinds of professional athletes, the ones that get caught cheating and the ones that don't get caught cheating. Just forgetting all the drug stuff for a minute, he's an amazing athlete. To be fair, his skills on the bike are so good that as long as he can swim a bit and put one foot in front of the other, he's in with a good chance of winning a triathlon like this. Respect. He even appeared briefly on Saturday Night Live in a sketch called Celebrity Ironman. Perhaps one of the most surprising developments of Armstrong's post-cycling life has been his relationship with former rival Jan Ullrich. When Ullrich faced personal struggles with addiction, mental health issues, Armstrong flew to Germany to support him. While Armstrong and Ullrich were fierce competitors on the road, many of us still remember the look.
He took a look straight into the eyes there of Jan Ullrich and said, well, here I go, are you coming or not? And the answer is not.
It was this intense battle between them that laid the foundation for the mutual respect.
2 years ago, I have big problems you come and visit me. I was on the same way Marco Pantani, nearly dead. And then I recover me and I have good friends and another friends and bring me back in the life. And now I'm very happy.
As the years have passed, public perception of Armstrong began to shift. While many still view him as a cheater who tarnished the sport of cycling, others see him more as a complex figure. As a topic for many documentaries, you can form your own opinion by watching either 30 for 30, The Armstrong Lie, or many more documentaries available online. Armstrong himself has grappled with his legacy and the impact of his actions on the sport of cycling. So while Armstrong is trying to move forward and change his persona for the better, the public is still skeptical about his intentions and presence in the sport that he tainted. Most recently, the 2024 Tour de France, he was part of the American Peacock TV coverage.
One exciting update, we will be streaming about half of our shows on Peacock this year.
As you can imagine, this too caused outrage. Today, Armstrong continues to navigate the complex legacy that he's created. He's no longer the revered champion he once was, but neither is he the pariah that many expected him to become. My 7 yellow jerseys, the jerseys you get when you win the Tour de France, the ones I won over the years, don't hang on my walls anymore. And the reason simply is that because that was then and this is now.